Hey there, my friends, it's Brad, the Bearded Piper, and I hope you all are having a great day. It's Saturday morning, October 4th, 2025, and I'm going to do a bit of a different video. I'm going to do an unboxing of my first order from the Boston Scally Company. If you're here for the cap content, thank you very much. I really appreciate you stopping by. Depending how deep I dive down this rabbit hole of cap collecting, there'll probably be more videos like this in the future. If you're here for my normal pipe and blend content, that's really not what today's video is going to be about, but you might want to stick around and say, boy, you're really handsome in those flat caps, Brad. Or, hey, that's a pretty nice style. Or, yeah, let me see what this Boston Scally Company is about. Because if you're like me, my social media has given me ads for this company for years. But I will say I am enjoying a bowl of Cornell bulk Bayou Morning in a Savinelli Punta Orno that really needs to be cleaned up. This is a workhorse pipe. It sits on my desk. I use it and about 5 other pipes multiple times throughout the week. So I've learned that most of my videos only get watched for anywhere from 4 to 7 minutes. So I'm going to get right into the unboxing, show you the caps that I got, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of what I've learned about the Boston Scally Company, what some of the reviews are, my opinions on how those reviews work and things of that nature, and and go from there. So now I do these videos in multiple takes because I make a lot of mistakes or say stupid things that I don't like. So in one of those takes, I have cut this box open, but I haven't looked at any of the caps. I did pick up 3 caps, and to be quite honest, they have so many different styles and series that I off the top of my head don't remember what they were. So let me look at my invoice here. I got a scrapper, a bruiser, and one of the Halloween collection from this year called Vampire Head. And apparently Boston Scally has different releases, and I think they said that one of the Facebook groups I joined said that Boston Scally drops a new style or hat every Friday, and then sometimes on Wednesday. So let's get right into this. The first cap is this is the Bruiser. I got this one in navy. It's wrinkled. I would expect it to be, sitting on a shelf and coming in a box. There's multiple videos. You hit it with a steamer and kind of get all of that out. Now, my head measures 59 centimeters, maybe a little bit less than that. So I went with a medium large. A medium large is 58 to 59. The extra large is a 60. I would rather the cap be a little bit snug because they will stretch whenever you wear them. Or I did buy a hat stretcher that's for like 12 bucks on Amazon that I might be able to stretch it out if I need to. So let's pull this cardboard out of this. This is a actual, what I think they call it, a one panel. It has on the top, there is just one big piece of fabric that kind of starts here. There's a seam in the back, and then it kind of comes up over. It is labeled on the inside as the Boston Scally Company. I've watched some reviews from a gentleman. He goes by Reviews by Moose. He has a ton of these caps in his collection, and he did say that some of these labels on the inside, when he sweats, stick to the top of his bald head. So let's see how this fits. Now, Boston Scally says to give it a bend, which will obviously make it a little bit tighter along the sides, and then stick it on your head and wear it. Now, I kind of like that. It kind of is a perfect cap for me. As far as fit goes, being 59 centimeters, it is a little bit snug, but not uncomfortably so. This is a cap that I could wear on an everyday basis. This one is cotton, so it is kind of a normal everyday cap, is at least as of now, being kind of new to this. That's kind of what I'm going for. So it's a pretty cool cap. I kind of like that one piece. It's definitely a flat cap, as opposed to a newsboy or something like that. So let's set this one aside. And then I if you've watched any of my videos about any of the bags that I've collected, I'm a guy that really likes brown. Yeah, that's kind of who I am. And this one is a scrapper, and I can't remember what color they call this. I'm going to keep getting out of frame and pulling this invoice out. It doesn't say. Oh, there we go. It's tan. That's a fancy color name. And this is, again, I think this one is also cotton. It's a little bit more of a texture compared to the the bruiser. So let's give this one a look. Now this one is a little bit different. It does have a 6 panels on the top as opposed to just that one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take this cardboard out, and again, it is a medium large because again, that's 58, 59. I'm gonna give the brim a bend, and let's put this one on. Oh, now see, now that one is perfect right out of the box. It is absolutely perfect, and I love that color. And for some reason, no matter what kind of hat I ever get, I never seem to be able to get that curve that looks straight on my head. Maybe my head's just crooked. All right, now let's move on to the very last one. And the last one is part of their Halloween series this year. And this one is called Vampire Head. They have a lot of really cool releases that come out. I think there's a pumpkin head, a Frankenstein head, this vampire head, and they're all different colors. And then right after I put this order in, they had a houndstooth. I can't remember what it's called, but it's kind of a werewolf theme. That is an orange and black houndstooth. If I would have waited a day, I probably would have ordered that one instead of either one of those or this. But I really like this cap, again, coming right out of the box. Again, medium large. Now this does have one of those vinyl sticker like appliques on the inside, which is I think what the reviews by Moose talks about. You know, that when you sweat, that's kind of an applique like you would put on the front of a shirt, and it would probably get hot and stick to your head. Again, medium large. This one is a 2, 4, 6, 8. This one is an 8 panel. So there's 8 separate pieces on the top, and it is also, I think they refer to it as a peaky design. You know, probably, well, I shouldn't say probably, based off of the very popular TV show, The Peaky Blinders, which I just started watching. I think I'm 2 episodes in, and I'm already hooked. So let's give this one a whirl. And I think this might be one of the ones that when I start talking about the company and what I've learned about them, this may be one of the ones that people talk about sizing issues. This one is a little snugger than both of the other two. However, again, it's not bad at all. I think just wearing it around, it's going to give, it's going to stretch, and it's going to fit my head perfect. So now, this also, because it is a special edition, comes with a dust bag that matches the applique on the inside, and it is the Vampire Head Boston. It says Boston Scally on the top and Vampire Head on the bottom. It's kind of cool. But that is the caps. Now let me talk a little bit about my history with flat caps, and then get into what I've learned about the different companies that are out there and the different complaints about Boston Scally Company. One is, the first thing is, in elementary school, I wore flat caps all the time, most likely because that's what my mom thought I looked cute in. She was the one who made the decision on what I wore to school every day. And then, you know, I moved into baseball caps, or just didn't wear a hat at all. There was a time where I had in the 80s, a fluorescent yellow Nike hat that I wore for everything. I would swim in that hat. And then no hats, you know, feathered hair, all of the fun stuff that we did back then. And then about 10 years ago, we were in Gettysburg, and I picked up a flat cap at one of the souvenir shops and kind of got back into wearing them again. I ended up picking up like 4 or 5 of them. No special brands. One of them was from, we have a store in southwestern Pennsylvania. It's a lot of different locations, but it's called Gabriel Brothers or Gabe's. They sell irregular clothing, and I picked up one there. I think I got one at J.C. Penney, maybe one at Walmart or something like that. And then I gained a little bit of weight, and actually I gained a lot of weight back then, and my cap size got bigger. It happens, right? And it doesn't have to get much bigger. If you go from a 59 centimeter to a 60 centimeter, and like these caps, 58, 59, 59 is already top of the size, 60, they're fitted, right? So there's going to be a difference in the 59 centimeters at 7 3/8, which is often in between 7 1/4 and 7 1/2, if you can do math. And that can be a little bit of a difficult size. So this year I decided I'm going to take control of my life and my health. I still do enjoy my pipes, and I've lost like 60 pounds just by watching my carbs. That's pretty much all I do. And my head size came down back to where it was before. Now, those caps, I got all of them on a deal, so they did need stretched out a little bit. So I did pick up a hat stretcher and stretch them just a tiny bit. And so I decided, hey, there's a ton of people that collect these. I have a very addictive personality. I love to wear different things. Again, I don't like to follow the norm, although you do see more and more people wearing these. And I've been getting ads from Boston Scally for a long time. So I decided, hey, I really like this vampire head. So I placed an order. They had a deal, $25 off if you bought 3 hats or caps. So that's what I did. And then the very next day, they released a houndstooth. It's a kind of a werewolf-based Halloween cap, and it's a really cool orange and black houndstooth. If it would have been out, if I would have waited just one day, I probably would have went with that as opposed to one of those or this one. But that's okay. Again, there's a ton of them out there. So after I placed my order, I started watching a lot of videos. And again, I have a tendency with my personality to just go crazy, dive down the rabbit hole and follow things. And I discovered a lot of people complain about Boston Scally Company for multiple reasons. One, the company is based in Massachusetts. 2, this doesn't really matter, but the route house is in Pennsylvania. And since I'm on the southwestern corner of Pennsylvania, my order got here really, really quick. But the caps are actually made in the People's Republic of China, PRC, not in Boston. So a lot of people aren't happy about that, but it's unfortunately the way a lot of things go today. The other thing is, I haven't looked at these caps, obviously, I just took them out, but apparently people talk about how the seams aren't straight, and sizing can be an issue. Folks that wear a medium large are getting them and they're too big. So when they're putting them on their head, like this area here will puff out, or they're way too small. I watched a video from one gentleman, Reviews by Moose. The guy has an amazing cap collection, and he orders his 2 different sizes and then returns one because he's not sure how they're going to fit. That's kind of a little bit of a concern. But what I've always thought about online reviews, you only ever have people that have complaints that do reviews. You never get online and find thousands and thousands of reviews from the millions of people that own a GMC Sierra saying, boy, I really love this truck. You only get on there and see, my truck burns oil, or I have this problem or that problem. Only disgruntled people seem to complain. However, I will say with the Boston Scally Company, there seems to be a whole lot of people that have had some issues. People complain about their customer service and things like that. So I learned all of that after I placed my order. And to be quite honest, I'm kind of glad I did, because if I would have read that beforehand, I probably would have never placed this order. And again, I really, really do like these caps. Specifically the ones that I got here. This vampire head is really cool. It's amazing to me. Like, I guess if you have a big enough collection, you only wear the Halloween themes in October, and then you wear, I don't know, Thanksgiving in November, and St. Patrick's in March. I don't know if I'll do that or not. And then this one here, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this one. The 6-panel design doesn't have the button on top, and I kind of like the fact that it doesn't have a button. And again, it does fit a little bit bigger than these other two, but not too big. It's going to fit very well. You can see the button on top of this 8-panel, and then of course, your very standard flat cap here, which I think this is their original. That is just, I don't know, that's just iconic. My grandpa wore hats like this all the time too, so it's kind of cool. So now I have joined a bunch of Facebook groups. I've joined 2 Facebook groups. I asked the question, how often do they drop these hats? Again, I placed an order on Tuesday, and they had a new one on Wednesday and then a new one yesterday. And a lot of super nice folks answering my questions, and they said Boston Scally has a tendency, they have a new cap drop every Friday. That's a lot. These hats run anywhere from, I want to say $48 to $55, something like that, from Boston Scally. You can get discount codes, and they have sales and things like that. But somebody also brought to my attention that there are other companies out there. Swisher Apparel, Funky Brims. Funky Brims has some really cool caps. Peaky hats, and a whole variety out there that I don't remember off the top of my head, since I'm kind of just getting into this. And who knows, this may be a fleeting fad for me, and I may never place another order, or just wear these ones and buy one again in 6 years. I really don't know, but right now I'm really going down that rabbit hole. Funky Brims has a really cool deal. I think it's $65. You get 3 flat caps and 5 hat pins, which I didn't get any hat pins. It's a mystery box. You don't know what you're getting. So you give them your size, and then they send you this mystery box. And I think that's really, really cool. There's a variety of people out there that sell hat pins. There's people that collect hat pins. So there's a lot of things that go on. Now, with that said, I have to go work on my truck. I don't think I'm going to wear these any of these while I'm working on the truck. I might throw one of my older ones on to keep the sun out of my eyes. Just for the simple fact that I kind of don't, I'm not ready to get these all hot and sweaty, although it would be a perfect way to break them in. So until we meet again, my friends, remember, life is good, but it is better with a bite.